Gina DeLuca here. All right, I'm doing a straight pour here. This is by request. I have the light blue violet in the Liquitex Basics, Decoart Americana Decor Metallics in Deep Sapphire, and the Decoart Americana Decor Matte Metallics in silver. Do not mind my atrocious leftovers of a manicure. I swore I was going to take this polish off my fingers before I started painting, but I have been very, very busy, and so I didn't. As you can see, I've already painted my edges with the light blue violet. This is going to be my background color and my base coat color. When I say background color, certain paints have a tendency to become the lacing in between the cells, and certain paints have a tendency to sell. If you want more information on that, check out video number 20. I may have to do an updated version of that, but in the meantime, that gives you a lot of information. Matte paints have a tendency to sell, and opaque paints that are glossier in finish have a tendency to fall to the background and become the lacing in the painting. These paints have been mixed, 1 part paint to 2 parts Floetrol, and then thinned to the proper consistency with my concoction of 90% water, 10% Floetrol. That consistency is about a 1.5 on my consistency scale. You can find the link to that in the description box if you want more information. But you can see it just barely makes a mound. It disappears very quickly into the paint. I make it slightly thicker when I'm using metallics, because metallics are always going to be thicker because of the mica. Before we get started, have you seen the Go Make Some Art Fluid Art inspiration cards? If you've seen this part, just fast forward about a minute. If you have not, what we have are 52 cards. There are 42 technique cards. Each technique card is associated with a YouTube video, which is a full tutorial with all of the information that you would need to do that technique, all of the colors that are in this particular example. There's a little box that has a tip in it for each technique, a color palette at the bottom, and then these 2 boxes can also be used as a color palette, a 2-color palette, or add some colors to it. Also included are 8 bonus color palette cards. Each one has 5 color palettes. Use all of the colors, use some of the colors, thousands of combinations, and you can use it for more than just fluid art. The color palettes are very useful in every gosh darn art form. There you have it, and these are available at my website, ginadeluca.net. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is put a little bit of this base color in my cup. It's about 1 ounce. Actually, I'm going to do 2 ounces. This blue takes over a painting. This might even be too much. I'm using half of what I'm going to be using in the silver, and you will probably be seeing a lot more of this blue than that silver. But I'm going to do my best to get them to blend so I can get some depth in the cells. Hopefully I get those beautiful boulder cells. A boulder with an OU. All right, my base coat is down, and I'm going to put some paint in a cup. you may have noticed that the painted edges were darker than this paint. There was a bit of leftover paint that I added to this, which was this color with some titanium white. That's why this is a little bit lighter, but I painted it with just this straight color because I like for it to go on thick, and if it's already got the Floetrol mixed in, then I have to do more than one coat. So generally what I do if I'm doing a custom mix, I will mix it, like before I add the Floetrol, I will mix the colors together, and then I just have straight paint and I will use that to paint the edges, and then I add the Floetrol. That's how I do that. I'm going to pour this from up high. I want this to blend. Those gradations that you get from mixing the paints together is what really gives it that 3D effect. I don't get the same effect if I layer them gently. With these particular paints anyway. You'll see in video 20, if you check that one out, I do layer them gently, and I did get those very 3D cells, but that's with a specific combination of paints. All of the paints react differently, even within a line. So that's what all this experimenting is about. Pouring from up high and blending. Okay, that's about exactly what I need. A hair more than I need, actually. But I am going to do something that I did in my earlier paintings. I'm going to start with a puddle of my base coat color. And I'm going to let that churn within there, hopefully. Oh, major points off for the dismount. Oh dear. I know what happens with that shape if I don't do something about it. So, here's what we're going to do. There is a phenomena that happens in acrylic pouring. Very often you get results that resemble things in nature. And in straight pours, when I do that little Fibonacci thing, if it's not done just right, it has an anatomical appearance. As does a ring pour if not stretched equally. But I'll say this, I did one that very, very much was atomically correct, and it was a feminine painting, and I sold it to a sex therapist for her office. So you never know. All right. I do have a lot of paint on here. I'm just going to stretch this out a little bit before I tilt anything off. I want to see what's happening. So you can see when I'm doing this, I keep bringing the paint back to center before I change directions. Okay. I'm going to catch and stretch this corner. I'm going to lose quite a bit of paint because I need to. This is too much paint. My calculations were off. Actually, my calculations were fine. It was that extra puddle. There's a stink bug in the living room behind me, and they make Satchmo crazy. And basically he's just perseverating over that, and he's going nuts in the other room. I don't know if you can hear it or not. I want to get that close, but I don't want to totally catch that focal point. I just want to stretch. I don't know if you can see that shimmer, but that is very pretty. So one of the things I do when I'm doing these experiments is I change things up just slightly. Like the way that I put this into the cup, instead of pouring it into one area, I kind of drizzled it around a little bit, which may be why I'm getting these smaller cells popping up. You know, you may want varying effects. I could do the exact same thing almost every time and wind up with almost the same composition every time. And, you know, with some slight variations, of course. But sometimes you have a vision and it's like, how do I get that particular effect? What do I need to do differently? Is it how I put the paint in the cup? Is it how I tilt? Is it putting that little extra pillow base down there? Or not having that? What gives you the effect that you're going for? And the only way to get that answer is to do these experiments and see. All right, well, I'm gonna leave this alone and I'm gonna let it sit and do its thing and see what happens. Actually, I just want to pull this up a little bit. Just a bit more towards the center, but still off center. Okay, back in a few. Okay, here it is. It's looking a bit darker on the screen than what I'm seeing with my eyeballs. That blue, the light blue, is lighter than what's appearing on there. But here's what we have going on. Got some nice 3D action. It really looks like bubbles. A babbling brook. And that silver is so pretty. Look at it bling. These cells are super cool. They look like little geodes. I love when these paints blend and you get these groovy little pop-up cells that just sometimes just do plain old crazy things. All of the paints react together differently, so you can see that's already drying on the edge. This should not be changing anymore. Let me show you the center where I avoided the, well, you know. Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a pretty piece. It's a very calming, peaceful, should be in a spa kind of piece. Well, there you have it. That's how those paints play together. That's kind of mostly what I do, is just figure out how do these paints react with each other. If you learned something, if you enjoyed it, please do like and share and subscribe and all that good stuff. And I'm trying to see if I can adjust. Oh, look, I just learned something about my camera. Look at that. Oh no. Oh, I don't want to make you guys dizzy. What did I do? There was like an exposure thing, which made it look not so dark, but now I don't know what I'm doing. I hope you're laughing and not rolling your eyes at me. Okay, well, I don't know what I was doing there. Doesn't really appear to be doing anything to help me. Please do like and share and subscribe and all that good stuff, and do check out the description box below for links to our PayPal tip jar, well, my PayPal tip jar. And also there's a Venmo tip jar if you feel so inclined, if you would like to help me stay stocked up in the paints to keep bringing you these groovy experiments. That's like a cool shot right there, liking that. Also in the description box are links to my website, GinaDeLuca.net, where you can find my art and music and paintings for sale. And my Amazon store, where you can find most of the things that I use in my paintings. But if you enter through that link anything that you purchase off the entire site of Amazon, I receive a small commission of at no additional cost to you. It's a way to help me out without costing you anything extra. Oh, I forgot, my website is also where you'll find the fluid art inspiration cards, should you be interested in those. And our Facebook group. Find the link in there as well to go make some art. Join us. Post your masterpieces. Ask your questions. Get some inspiration. I think that's everything. I do believe. All right. Well, thanks for bearing with me through my exposure. Now it looks overexposed. Oh, dear. I hope it goes back to how it was. All right. Well, thanks for joining me through those technical difficulties. I hope you enjoyed your flight. I hope you have a beautiful day. Now go make some art.